Namaste, ladies and gentlemen. Let us continue the topic of pragmatic leadership. We have just discussed in the last session in the chapter 3, basically, can we alter our persona? So one of the most important topic of discussion is whether the human beings can changing their personality. So this is $1 million question that vast majority of the people believe that that's the way they are born and there is no way they can alter their personality. So in the context of pragmatic leadership, one of the most important belief is that the human personality can be altered. So in this chapter that I was trying to bring about the different kind of perspective, that for us to proceed further in the chapters which I have dealt in the Pragmatic Leadership book, it is very important to appreciate that whether the personality can be altered or cannot be altered. So we need to figure out certain basic understanding that human personality is not a fixed state and it is in a constant flux of changing over a period of time, either due to compulsion or due to the personal choice, that our personality changes in our early formative years, and then when we become an adult, and then middle age, and then the old age, and so on and so forth. So I just want to cover few basic aspects of personality for us to discuss this in greater detail. So there are four forms of personality. In other words, there are 4 different layers of personality. Let us try and understand what they are. See, the first personality layer is your body consciousness. That means the body level of personality. By that, what you mean is how the person looks and how his body language is and what kind of a dress he is wearing and presents himself. Because the moment when we see a person who is a stranger, the first and foremost appears in our perspective is the physical self of the person. So I was just trying to explain this in my book on page number 38, that how these layers of personality are all defined. For example, when somebody is going for an interview, he tries to put certain formal dress and then a tie or probably a jacket and then try to groom himself properly and polish his shoes and so on and so forth, because he wants to create the first impression at the body level of consciousness. The other person is going to make an assessment based on how the person is looking. So when we say the body level of personality, it doesn't limit only up to your color of the skin or your hairstyle or whatever that we are talking about. It also includes the way in which your body language is. How do you sit, how do you stand, and how do you make certain gestures while you are talking and so on and so forth. So that means, let us understand at this point in time, there is a body level of personality. And then the interview progresses a little longer. They start asking him multiple questions and sometimes they provoke the candidate just to see how he is handling his own emotions. That means a second level of non-physical personality is your emotional personality. Subsequently, we will discuss in greater detail what is emotional quotient really means and how do we improve it, etc. But at this point in time, it is very important to understand the second layer of personality is the emotional personality. First is the physical, second is the emotional. That means how are you handling the external stimuli and responding in a context of with anger or patiently you are listening and then you are responding, etc. So then little later they ask certain questions about our domain knowledge and then test our knowledge level which is called as an intellectual personality. That means human beings have got this unique kind of a faculty by which they are able to collect informations, knowledge, and then thereby they become more and more value adding in the organization they join. So that is called an intellectual personality. That means there are different kind of efforts required to sharpen our intellectual personality. So coming back again, there is a body level of personality, there is an emotional level of personality, there is third is the intellectual level of the personality. And little later they start asking questions about what is your family comprises of, and what is your father doing, and what are your value systems, etc. being tested. And that is what is called the spiritual personality. Please don't take the word spiritual in the literal sense that it is something anything to do with the yogi or something like that. It's very important to understand the spiritual personality is nothing but a deep inside what is the value system that is driving that person. So that is what is called the spiritual personality. So that means broadly when you say personality, it is not the person is 6 feet 3 inches tall and then he looks fair and handsome, etc. That is not what we are talking about, the physical personality. It is the way in which a person carries himself in terms of using his body as a resource. And emotional personality is the personality of the person, how he is using his emotions as a resource. And intellectual personality is the knowledge that person possesses and how he is using his knowledge and wisdom as a resource. And spiritual personality is very deep and intrinsic, that what is the value system that person carries and what is really driving his life as a guiding principles. So these are the 4 layers of personality. And when we say personality development, it really means that the body level personality development requires a different approach. Emotional level personality development requires a different approach. Intellectual personality development requires a different approach. And then finally the spiritual personality requires a different kind of approach to develop the capabilities of the person. So coming back into the various quotient which we discussed some time back, which has got something to do with the personality development, which is we saw about the spiritual quotient, emotional quotient, intelligent quotient, relationship quotient, and many of these aspects that we have discussed in the past. Just to quick recap, that intelligent quotient is nothing but a kind of a metric in which you can measure how this person intellectually sharp enough to grasp any new knowledge. Emotional quotient, there is no measurement available, although there are indirect instruments, not physical instruments, they are all the psychological instruments by which you can estimate the emotional quotient of a person. As far as the relationship quotient of the person, which is the ability to use his emotions to build relationship with the people. And spiritual quotient is essentially the ultimate kind of value system deep inside the person's subconscious that's really driving his own life. So which is extremely important in terms of attitude of a person. And then there is another one is called a learning quotient, which is essentially how the person keeps himself sharp enough and continuously wants to upgrade his knowledge level. Does he have a reading habit? Is he really coming from the feeling of ignorance and then he wants to develop his knowledge? So there are many people stop learning after a certain point in time in their life. Even by observation they don't learn. So essentially when we are talking about in the context of pragmatic leadership, these 4 layers of personality understanding is very important, so that there can be a development plan connected to each one of them, for which is extremely important for every individual to have a self-awareness. That means you need to figure out at what level is maturity in terms of each one of these layers of personality. So why are we discussing in the context of pragmatic leadership is, in this entire book, I have attempted to develop this concept of grooming oneself as a leader over a period of time, right from the formative years, becoming very conscious of his physical personality, his emotional personality, his intellectual personality, as well as the spiritual personality. So that means it's more of an inward looking development process. It has got nothing to do with the rest of the world, although the person will test his personality in the laboratory, which is the human life. At the end of the day, your personality can be tested only in the laboratory, which is nothing but the world in which we are living. So our interactions and our experiences with the rest of the people. So this is what I dealt in the beginning of the chapter 3, which is essentially, can we alter our persona? For the very simple reason I want to take up this topic for discussion. Unless otherwise, each one of the people who want to become a pragmatic leaders, they need to understand that their personality is not a fixed state. It is something continuously changing. It can change out of external force unconsciously, or it can be changed at the human will, by which one can continuously sharpen their own personality. So in the context of pragmatic leadership, we are considering the possibility of every individual taking charge of himself and then continuously sharpen their personality to take up a leadership position. So finally, it's very important to appreciate that a leadership is not a position or a power or authority. It is a state of a being in which a person has got a different kind of an outlook and perspectives. Thereby his value addition to the mankind is much larger than many other people. I am sure that this session has been useful in building the topic on pragmatic leadership, and going forward I am going to take up every individual personality element and then talk about it, how we can sharpen them. Thank you very much for your patient listening, and it has been a great pleasure exchanging the ideas about pragmatic leadership with you. God bless you, take care, take all precautions in life and stay healthy.